Lana and Oisín's fairy trail adventure. One bright morning, Lana arrived at a beautiful park in Ireland. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and a gentle breeze danced through the trees. As Lana crossed a small wooden bridge, she noticed a boy sitting nearby, watching ducks swim in a pond. "Hello," Lana said with a smile. The boy smiled back. "Hello, my name is Oisín." "Nice to meet you, I'm Lana." Just then, something small and red darted across the path. "Look," said Lana. A red squirrel scampered up a tree and flicked its fluffy tail. "It's a red squirrel," said Oisín. The squirrel paused for a moment, then leapt to another tree. It almost looked as though it wanted them to follow. "Let's see where it's going," said Lana. The children followed the squirrel through the park until they reached a magical fairy trail hidden among the trees. Tiny fairy doors were attached to tree trunks. Little fairy houses sat among the roots. Pebble paths twisted through colourful flowers. "It's beautiful," whispered Lana. Then she noticed something tucked beneath a bright green fairy door. "A note," she said. Lana carefully unfolded it and began to read. "Dear visitors, a fairy treasure has been hidden somewhere along the fairy trail. Follow the clues, help others along the way, and you may find it. Good luck." "A treasure hunt," said Oisín excitedly. At the bottom of the note was the first clue. "Find the place where stories grow." "I know where that is," said Oisín. "The story tree." The children hurried along the fairy trail until they reached a large oak tree. Beneath one of its roots sat a tiny wooden box. Inside was the next clue. Kind hearts are the key. Help someone today and return for your next clue. Lana looked puzzled. "How do we know who needs help?" Just then, they heard a small voice nearby. "Oh no!" A little girl was searching through the grass. "What's wrong?" Lana asked gently. "I lost my favourite bracelet," said the girl sadly. Without hesitation, Lana and Oisín began helping her search. They looked beneath bushes, they checked beside benches, they searched among the flowers, but they could not find it. Then the red squirrel appeared once more. It scampered across the path and stopped beside a patch of daisies. Lana hurried over. "There it is!" The bracelet was lying in the grass. The little girl smiled. "You found it! Thank you so much!" Helping her made Lana feel warm and happy. "Let's go back to the story tree," said Oisín. When they returned, they discovered another clue waiting inside the wooden box. "Well done. Kindness opens magical doors. Now find the fairy's shiny acorn." The children followed the fairy trail deeper into the woods. They searched beneath fairy houses. They peeked behind tiny fairy doors. They looked beside colourful mushrooms and flower beds, but they could not find the acorn anywhere. Then the red squirrel appeared again. It sat on a branch overhead and chattered loudly. "I think it's trying to tell us something," said Lana. The squirrel leapt down and ran across a tiny wooden bridge. The children followed. On the other side, hidden beneath a patch of blue flowers, they spotted something sparkling. "The acorn!" cried Lana. It was shiny and golden in the sunlight. Carefully, she picked it up. At the end of the fairy trail stood the largest fairy door of all. Beside it was a small sign. "Place the acorn here." Lana gently placed the shiny acorn beside the door. To their surprise, the door slowly swung open. Inside was a tiny treasure chest. The children opened it together. Inside, they found colourful painted stones, tiny fairy drawings, and one final note. Lana read it aloud. Dear treasure hunters, the greatest treasure is kindness and friendship. It is helping others and sharing adventures together. Thank you for making our fairy trail magical today. Lana smiled. I think that's the best treasure I've ever found. Oisín nodded. I think so too. The red squirrel flicked its tail one last time before disappearing into the trees. As the afternoon sun began to sink lower in the sky, the two friends sat beneath the story tree. Today was fun, said Lana. It was, agreed Oisín. I learned that adventures are more exciting when you share them with a friend. And I learned that kindness can lead to wonderful things, said Oisín. Soon it was time to go home. Goodbye, Oisín. Goodbye, Lana. As Lana walked away, she felt happy. She had explored a magical fairy trail, followed a curious red squirrel, helped someone in need, and made a wonderful new friend. And she knew that kindness, friendship, and a little bit of imagination could turn an ordinary day into a magical adventure.